So you're 40 years old, and you're sitting around with your friends, and you're reminiscing about what you did when you finished high school. I've never met anybody who's 40 years old who says, gosh, I wish, that I had done college sooner. I could have entered the job market a year earlier, and I'd be so ahead of the game. When you look back later on, you realize this year is an incredible window of opportunity. You have a chance to be in an environment with no tests, no papers, no homework, no pressure, chance to explore who you really are. Very often, students that are in college, sophomore year, junior year, they have to pick majors, and all of a sudden they start to wonder, is this really what I want to do? Students who come back are much more focused, much more mature. In fact, the Ivy League schools, you can look at Harvard's website and see that this is so, have started to recognize the value of gap year programs. Statistical studies have demonstrated that students do 15% better on their grades after having spent a gap year, especially a gap year in a study program. There are so many different programs in Israel. Some people really want to spend time exploring Eretz Israel, having a chance to connect with the people, doing chesed and social actions projects. Some people want to go to yeshiva. They want to get into serious learning. Some people have more of a philosophical bent. They want a deeper understanding of why we do what we do and what all of this is really about and who I am and what I'm really looking for and who do I want to be 5, 10, 15 years from now. There's so many different opportunities and so many different programs. It's a chance to spend a year in Israel with thousands of your peers who are in like-minded programs. You will never get this opportunity again. Once you go to college, you finish college, even if you could take time off, your headspace is different. You're already entering the race. You feel a pressure to pay back college loans. You feel a stress to get into the job market. You may meet that special someone. Highly recommended. Take this year to explore all those different opportunities. If you find the right place and it's what you're really looking for, you'll have an incredible year. And when you do, come visit us in the Old City. Kol Tov.
Hi, my name is Shira Melamed. I am the Assistant Director at Midreshet Torah Chesed. We're a seminary in Netanya, and we have part-time learning and part-time Chesed in the Children's Home Beit El Ezraki. I've been working in the seminary world for around 12 years now, so I can definitely tell you why this year is so important in the life of a young woman. I would not be here today, still working in this job, if I did not believe that it was beyond crucial and if I didn't see firsthand the results that this year has on the lives of young women. First of all, it's a year that you don't get back. What do I mean? I mean that everything else in life will wait for you. College is going to wait for you. Job opportunities wait. Friends wait. Family always waits. There's one thing in life that does not wait, and that's your gap year. That's the year in Israel. Because if you decide 2 years from now that you want to go to to seminary for the year, you can't go. If you decide a year from now, oh, I should have gone to seminary, you can't go. If you decide 5 months from now, like, oh, I should go, you can't get those 5 months back. So if there's a question mark whether or not I should go, whether or not I shouldn't go, I want you to think about that, and I want you to process that information, that I'm not going to have another opportunity like this. And yes, it's 7,000 miles away and it's scary, and I'm not underestimating that. But 7,000 miles brings you to Israel. It brings you to the land where you can connect to your heritage. It brings you to a place where to spend a year here is nothing but a tremendous merit. And every single day that you're here, you become more and more and more connected to your roots, and your Judaism becomes enhanced just by being here for the year. Not to mention the opportunity to spend an entire day asking questions. Judaism until now it's been something that you've done. It's been a part of your life. I had a student once say to me in an interview that she wants to come to Israel for the year because she needs marriage counseling. And I said to her, what do you mean you need marriage counseling? She said, I'm married to God. Like, I get it. I'm married to Him. But like, I don't feel anything and the passion's gone. It's like, that's so smart. You're a genius. That's it. That's exactly what it is. You need to get that feeling back, because the routine of doing the same thing, all the mitzvot that you do on a routine basis, you need to wake it up inside of you, and you need to get to the bottom of, why am I doing this? I want to fall in love with it. And that's the way that it's going to stay strong in your life. Not to mention the tremendous growth that happens to our students and to all seminary girls when they are in Israel for the year. Their midot, their characteristic traits get so beautifully enhanced. To spend a year and say, I don't want to live with anger. How do I get rid of my anger? To spend a year and say I don't want to fight with my parents, this is not how I want to be. How do I get rid of them? People to be able to help you do that. That doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. No one's going to give you courses, credits in college, explaining to you how to wake up in the morning happier. You don't get points in college for classes like that. No one's going to give you points in college for how to get rid of jealousy. That doesn't exist. This is the only year where you can do it. And I'm saying now that I've seen girls who have gone to Israel for the year, and I've seen girls who have not, and there's a tremendous difference there. So if you're debating, should I, shouldn't I, I'm gonna say that from my experience, there is absolutely no question. Come to Israel for the year and find out just how amazing it is.
There are so many reasons why a student should come and spend a year studying Torah in Israel. But if you had to probably ask me my top one, it would have to be that you could study Torah anywhere in the world. No question about it. But if you want to live Torah, if you want to live Jewish history, and really the place that you have to come to do that is where it all began and where it all happened. Shabbos exists anywhere in the world. But on a Friday afternoon in Eretz Yisrael, you walk around the streets, you feel it's Shabbos. You walk into a supermarket Friday afternoon, and the person behind the counter will wish you a Shabbat Shalom, because it's just on everyone's minds. We just finished the Chagim here. Right before Sukkot, hardware stores are bustling. They're putting out stuff. Wherever you turn, you're just feeling the fact that it's Shabbos or the fact that it's Yontif. And that's a contagious feeling. But on a very, very historical and educational level, you can learn about something in Tanakh. You can learn something about Jewish history. But if you could see it, if you could live it, I'll give you an example. Our yeshiva is located in Beit Shemesh, and you have to pass by Tomet Shimshon in order to come to our yeshiva. Tomet Shimshon is located between Eshtaol and Sar'ah. The Navi tells us 3,000 years ago that Shimshon was buried between Eshtaol and Sar'ah. And what's so cool is, as you drive around the highway, you could see a sign that says Eshtaol, and right after it, it says Sar'ah, and right in between, that's where Shimshon is buried. It's an example of just looking at history and looking around you, and everything that we learned about is right there. It happens to be conveniently, it's right behind me, in between Eshtaol and Sar'ah. And that's what guys who learn in our yeshiva get a chance to look at every single day. To look at history, to look at Torah, to live Torah. You can't get that anywhere else in the world, and that is something fantastic.
In the modern academic and professional world, the value of a gap year, to take a break or breather between high school and pre-professional advancement, has become more and more accepted and cherished. It allows high school students to take a few steps back and gain some perspective. Very often high school children grow up in a very small and contained environment, and that leads to a lot of simplistic thinking. Allows them to encounter other people, to solidify their identity, get a better sense of whom they are, make wiser decisions in terms of the professional tracks which they choose, and also internalize the information. I think a lot of 18, 19-year-olds, their brains work very, very well, so they're able to handle the scholastics, but to internalize the studies and to be able to apply it in life, I think takes a certain degree of emotional maturity. So I think in general, the value of a gap year, of taking some time before advancing and accelerating towards college and pre-professional training, is becoming more and more understood. Of course, the importance of studying in Eretz Yisrael is not just developmentally to become have a better sense and a consolidated personality, but we hope that our young men and women take religion seriously and aspire to excel in religion just as much, if not more, as the aspirations they have for scholastic and financial achievement. And this is the year to begin what is a lifelong process of excelling in religion, to evaluate religion perhaps in ways that they weren't able to given the pressures of high school, the distractions of high school, the late ages that may have not been mature enough to evaluate religion, to feel a passion for religion. And passion is very often contagious. It's infectious. It has to be imparted by interacting with people who feel passionate about religion, to develop the skills in order to lead a lifetime not just of experientialism, to have deep experiences about religion, to be able to study Hashem's word and His Torah, and to exhibit halachic integrity, to condition themselves to mitzvah observance and healthy prayer, on habits. So it's not just an opportunity to grow as a person, which I think is universally accepted and valued in our world, but to deeply and intensely forge a lifetime of aspiration towards the excellence in religion. I think finally, for all of us, certainly those who live in Eretz Yisrael, and I would hope even those who don't yet live in our country, the identification and affiliation with Israel is an important part of our identity, and by extension, an important part of our religious identity. And this is an opportunity to stream that affiliation, that identification, not through political terminology or through visits or cultural, but to be able to fuse their identification with Israel with a deep sense of religious calling, and that it is the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that we live in this land and dedicate ourselves, even if we don't live in this land, to the advancement of our land and of our people. So I hope that all of you will seriously consider sending your boys and your girls to Israel, and I think it's a fantastic choice, and one which I hope you're able to assist your children in arriving at.
Hear my mama calling, come back to me now. I can hear my mama calling me, hear my mama calling me back. Way down the road that never ends, I can hear my father calling me, hear my father calling, come back to me now. I can hear my father calling me, hear my father calling, come back to me now. Come back to me now. Come back to me now. Let the wind take you back. I feel the wind blowing in from the east. Can you hear me calling? Hear me calling. Come back to me now. I can hear my homeland calling me. Hear my homeland calling. Come back to me now. I can hear my mama calling me. Hear my mama calling. Come